Tabletop Spotlight, brought to you by Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasy. Hey everyone, I'm AdamHarry from Bull's Tabletop News with
Drake from Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasy.
And we're back with another Tabletop Spotlight. Drake, you like your samurais?
I do like samurai.
Is that what you brought this box?
Yes.
What do we got here?
This is Test of Honor. It is a samurai skirmish, kind of historical miniatures game from Warlord.
Yeah. They're big. Warlord, of course, big bolt action, Conflict 47,
Gates of Antari.
Yeah, tons of cool stuff. And now they're getting into the samurai game. Yeah. So this is a skirmish game, right?
Very accessibly, I might add. We'll get to that in the outro.
Cool.
But yeah, so this is the two-player starter box. You can see it is very unintimidating.
Yeah.
They're also releasing a bunch of other kind of like squads, basically with different leaders. And the idea is that it focuses around your kind of leader of your squad, and you flesh it out, and you can grow or shrink the rest of that. But
it's a skirmish level.
Fairly small scale for minis combat. But there's been a lot of buzz around this. I'm very excited about it. A lot of people that shop are really. Really
I've seen nothing but good things about this so far, so I'm excited. Let's take a look inside the new Test of Honor starter set. All right, Drake, we have Test of Honor, the samurai miniatures game. I'm already a fan. I just want you to know.
Yeah. Warlord has a pretty good track record.
Yeah.
And I got to see a bunch of these minis assembled and painted when I was at Gamma.
Yeah, they looked really cool.
Yeah, it was a good time.
You sent us some pics. I was jealous. We go ahead and pop the top here. That was the back of the box. Here we go. Ooh,
terrain punch outs.
Right off the bat.
Love to see that.
Very thematic.
See, that's nice. It's like a quick and easy starting solution to terrain and such.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, these terrain things are throwing me for a loop. I know it's just printed on them, but it's almost like 3D. Maybe it's just my eyes playing tricks on me.
Isometric.
Yeah.
It's gotcha.
Ooh. Yeah. Anyway, lots of tokens. Yeah. Very cool looking.
6 tokens. I see wounds.
Are they front and back? Yeah, they're
front and back. Nice.
Yeah. Okay.
Wounds, helmets, hats. Well.
We have a main rules rulebook. We'll get to that in a second.
Ooh.
We have a battle guide, which we will also get to in a moment.
Excellent.
We have
stats? Or assembly.
Assembly, yeah.
Guides.
Okay, there's assembly for the different trooper types.
Got guns.
One.
Oh man.
There's 2 samurai as well. Very cool looking.
Nice. 6 sprues.
Lots of screws. We've got, first off, bases.
Trays?
Sort of. They look like unit trays.
Yeah. They're obviously not rank and file because of the scale, but...
Yeah, but you can totally put your the guys in there if you want to move them around as a unit, I guess.
Fantastic.
I like it. There's another game that they could probably use that. There's another round-based game that could probably use. Anyway.
You know.
All right, it's got some custom dice. Looks like some X's, blanks, and 2 possibly hits.
Double hit.
Yeah.
Block.
Yeah.
Which there are also they're a little bit smaller than regular dice.
Yeah, I
which
was
is
just
interesting.
thinking that.
Like I wonder what skill.
Custom dice though.
Cards. Probably skill cards, trick cards, all kinds of different things. I'm sure we'll get a rundown of it in the battle guide.
Yep.
Tough hide.
Let's take a look at these sprues right now, though.
Yes.
I'm going to move the box this way.
Sprue me up.
And we'll take a look at each one of these. I think there's going to be some repeats, but we'll take a look and see. So the first sprue, actually, let's do it this way.
So this is
pretty good looking sprues, man.
Yeah, which I'm not used to seeing kits like this where it's so interchangeable. Like, and I like open hand posing.
Wow, you actually
stick whatever you want.
Put the weapon in their hands. This is very reminiscent to me, at least, of the Warlord vehicle kits because they're kind of the same way. This is very much a historical game type of sprue.
Yeah, it's very open. Very.
Yeah.
You got options here.
You have all of the options you could ever want. You've got open-handed models where you can actually physically put the sword that you want. I feel like you could even, in a weird kind of way, you could even set up like the grip that they're gonna have, which is way more detailed.
That's awesome.
Aside from that complexity that they have and the options there, the detail on these kits is pretty solid.
It doesn't look terribly complicated though. Like you can.
I'm just talking about like the grips that you could figure out.
Oh no, yeah, the versatility is incredible. I don't see more than 2 of the same hands.
Okay.
across these.
Well, let's keep looking through the sprues. So
Yeah,
that's the first one. So
that
was a lot of the bladed weapons. We have some. Arrows.
This might be your samurai sprue. It looks like because I see these crests. These
that
might
makes
be your
more sense.
These might be your honchos.
Okay.
Missile troops.
Yeah, we got arrows. I think
gunners.
Muskets, yeah, or rifles or something.
Yeah, it's a rifle.
Yep.
And we did see a couple of that on the.
Yep. There's the other side of that sprue. We have the arrows. I like that they actually have the guys holding the arrows so that you can put them lined up with a bow. Yeah, and then of course the sheathed swords and stuff like that.
Right.
Banner, back banners.
Everybody needs a sidearm.
Yep. This looks like another sprue, same sprue.
Yeah,
for that one. So that's a dupe.
That's another the same one.
Okay.
I also little thing. I like how the sprues stack.
Yeah,
they
in the box.
Set into each other and keep them separate. Like that's just a
little
thing. Keep them safe in there.
Yeah, so you can see how they stack up. It's a thing Warlord does. It's nice. It's a nice touch. Yeah. Here's another one. This is not. Is this a repeat of the other sprue?
No, it's got this huge.
Oh yeah, here. Completely different one. All right. Oh, this one is repeated a couple of times though. This whole sprue. So there's a whole stack. There's 4 of these.
These
sprues.
are your
probably
basic,
your big unit.
Your basic actually got it.
Yeah. Okay.
Nice spears though.
Yeah. Very deadly. Lots of range on those. Let's flip this sprue over real quick. You can kind of see there, other side.
Some unique faces.
Yeah. I like the detail on the weapons. Very good detail. The handles themselves have ridges. So if you are looking to paint those,
oh man,
dry brush that. Oh, it's gonna be good. Very nice. Even the slat style armor that they have with the
the banding on that.
The banded armor looks really cool. Very cool. Very nice kits. And then the other
the folds have a lot of detail on the laces you got in there.
Yep.
That's pretty sweet.
The last thing is these are just
bases
for the sprues or for the models. So, and that's pretty much everything in the box. Dude, I'm excited. Let's hop over real quick to take a look at those rules.
Yeah, good crunch.
Running through the rules real quick, we've got the main rule book here. Just to flip it over, there's a nice handy reference guide on the back. And of course, we've got roughly 16 pages of rules. It looks like it's based off of a symbol system.
Yeah, that actually stood out to me when we were looking at the back there. Like I don't see like a strength, skill, whatever kind of stat line. It's more of a reference to what the strikes on the things mean. So it looks like a given character will roll
X number
5
of dice,
or maybe even all of those dice, and depending on the sum of all of those
blades or
blades, hits or whatever, it'll determine if it strikes or misses. Because which is important in a setting, in like the scale, in like miniature scale, you want that combat to feel like kind of drawn out and each swing matters. And it definitely looks like that, and you can just fumble it.
It's kind of an interesting way everything's set up. But let's go through here, take a quick run through some of the rules. Let me zoom out one touch here. Okay. So going through the game of book here, we've got elements of the game. It's just running through everything that you're gonna get in the box, and there's a ton of stuff in this box as we've seen. So
in this 2-player store box, there are 5 kits
enough
to build
kits,
5 samurai, 20 soldiers, and then 10 ranged, whether it's with bows or with the guns. I'm intrigued by that number with the 5 samurai, because this is marketed as a 2-player starter set, and that's definitely an odd number. If I know my numbers.
Yeah, I think part of that's because you have different construction options. So just with the different squads and stuff too. So maybe you only end up, maybe you don't build all 5 samurai, or if you want to, let's keep going. Or maybe you need all 5 to start with. All right, we've got how the cards read. So again, we saw those cards. We didn't flip through them, but you got the idea. You've got different unit cards basically. So just to run it down real quick, we've got the aim, the number of dice rolled when trying to strike an enemy.
There you go. Nice.
We've got the agility, the number of dice rolled when trying to avoid an enemy attack or other tests. Strength, the number of dice rolled when determining the damage caused.
Okay.
Wits, the number of dice rolled when quick thinking is required, such as targeting an enemy that is not the closest threat.
Okay.
So interesting, yeah. Honor, the number of dice rolled to keep your nerve and not fall back if your friends are cut down. It's your bravery stat, basically.
Okay.
Actions, the number of times the warrior can act during a single turn of the game, and therefore the number of action tokens you'll need. So, for instance, the spearmen only have 1. So,
Overall, the kind of the gist behind it are very familiar. We have like your weapon skill, your strength, your agility, which I think is an interesting thing. But you also have, you can see this quick legend for the type. Like these guys, they're your basic troops. You have samurai, which are elite, and then your samurai hero, which is your HQ, your leader.
Yeah, it almost seems like, based on the number of actions and just some of the things we've seen already, it feels like a samurai can probably cut through a couple of different guys at once on a single turn and keep going. So
yeah, so I bet these spearmen, they come on in that unit of 3.
Yeah.
Because because you have 3 left, they get a bonus.
Yeah, it says right here too. Yep.
If you have 2 or 3 left, they get a bonus to strike, and as they lose guys, they get a little bit weaker. But in this kind of like subtle way.
Okay. Very cool. Well, then it kind of breaks down the rest of it. Just to read the dice, we have a single sword, the 2 swords, a miss, and a cross, which also counts as a miss, depending
but if
on
you
the
get
test.
too many crosses, it hits you into a fumble, and you're like,
which could
fail.
be bad. Critical failures.
If you roll 5 dice, get 5 crosses, it's basically a natural 1.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bad time. Preparing for the battle, again, just running through that. This is how to do the ability test, and it'll explain everything here.
There are recruitment cards that generates your army, and you build it. That's pretty cool. I'm about it.
Okay, so it looks like a generic ability test over here real fast. If you get 3 or more swords, you pass. If you get 0, 1, or 2 swords, it's a fail. If there are more crosses than swords, then that's an automatic failure. So even if you only needed 3 or more swords with this test, because they rolled 4 crosses, that's an auto fail.
So there is still a risk.
Yeah, even if you have a ton of dice.
Yeah, like just if you throw 6 dice down from your hero, you're like, I just need 3 swords and I'll hit you. So you can hypothetically still miss, but also more crosses will generate you.
Yeah. And real quick too, the game's gonna end based on the scenario. So if you're one of those people that goes, "What's my objective of this game?" It's gonna be based on the scenario. But there's your generic, basic game term here.
And I'm sure you could just do a deathmatch and just try to kill each
yeah.
other. You could probably assign like kill point values, and it seems open in that way with those three very clearly distinguished.
Yeah, and I'm sure the battle rules will have more. The battle guide will have more of this.
I do like the focus on the scenario play for this kind of skirmish game.
Makes sense. These are just some generic rules as well. We saw. Sorry, skipped through this part real quick, but there's the game turn there. So basic game turn, draw an action token without looking, and then you can execute those actions.
Okay, so it does use bolt actions, kind of initiative system.
Yeah.
Out of that, did we see a bag or?
I don't think there was a bag in there, no. But you can always put them in a cup or a hat or something like that.
Oh, I've got. Okay, so these are those tokens, and you can either play a samurai, which is your hero, or the commoners. Neato.
Your different actions that you can take during your turn: you can move 6 inches, move 3 and shoot. You can charge 6 in a melee attack. You can avoid as your reaction to an enemy attack. Cautious move is 3 inches, and get to feet and move 3 inches, and then reload.
Or an action to reload.
Yeah.
So I
wonder if the arrow guys have to spend time reloading.
I bet you they don't. I bet that's the difference. The guns will do a lot more damage, but your arrows don't have to use a whole action to reload.
And measuring, you can measure at any time. So during your actions, you can measure. Move, shoot. It goes through all of this, basics of gameplay here. So it is a skirmish level game. So it's designed to be pretty quick, it seems like. Making an attack, just run through that.
Okay, so just the avoid aspect of it. You don't roll to avoid every time they hit you. If that character, unit, whatever, has not taken an action yet and they hit you, they can spend their action early to dodge, but then that's all they can do. And if they've already taken an action, they can't do that. So it's actually this very cool kind of game of cat and mouse during the fight where you might have your samurai waiting for the other guy to make a move, and then after he's already done, then you swing in. So it's this very reminiscent of the kind of the image of 2 samurai standing off, each one waiting for the
opening.
And it's almost like in a parallel to like Western high noon kind of shootouts kind of thing.
Well, and it's double too because of the loss of nerve type of thing, right? So it is that very much a high noon stare down, who's gonna break first type of a feel.
I really like the feel of this game. Like the visuals associated with this is definitely really cool and very, very interesting to think about while you're doing it. I am about this game. I have already decided.
So this is just an example of more movement and again line of sight stuff. If you have a clear path or not, how that all works. And then this is of course just the battlefield terrain. I would encourage folks to build their own cool Asian style houses and terrain. That would be super cool. Really fun project, I think.
But what we've got here does look pretty good.
Yeah. Last but not least, different weapons. Excuse me, Drake. You want to go over the weapons?
Yeah. So, as you said, it looks like first it lists our ranged weapons, and we do see our bow, our muskets, or thrown weapons, which is kind of cool. Yeah. Thrown weapons are unlimited. They're fairly weaker and then fairly low range, but you can use them all the time. You have your bow, which actually has farther range than your musket, which is cool. But as we expected, the musket has an extra die on the damage. Mm-hmm.
And the bows actually get weaker along range.
At that farther distance. So if they're in the 12 to 20 range, muskets are going to be your go-to. But the musket has to make a reload action before they can shoot again.
Yeah, we knew that was coming too. Okay.
And it's not listed here, but based on thrown weapons, it specifically says that they have enough ammo to last the whole battle. I bet you both bow and musket will have limited
it's
ammo
probably
that you track on that card.
Yeah.
Other kind of weapons, doesn't look like the melee weapons have any kind of special thing like that. It's just based on the characters, which does make sense. But each, based on what they have, they get a special die for their bonuses. If they, so based on what you're wielding, if you somehow manage to pull off 5 or more swords with any of the rolls.
Okay. Which is possible because some of those weapons have two swords on them.
Yeah, most of those die have a 2-sword option. So even if they're only rolling 3 dice, there's still a chance you could end up with 5 or 6 swords on that. And it looks like based on what weapons they have will trigger a different special effect. That's your natural 20 kind of sort of thing.
That's pretty interesting. And then of course we already looked at this page, but there's the weapon bonuses. So if you do happen to roll 5
and you have your natty ones over here, like crit fails. Like if you try to dodge and you roll more failures rather than
get counter thrusted or an accident.
You fall on your face if you try to dodge and you don't dodge well enough.
Lance off, which is
that's great.
Yep. Well, that's the rules. Really quick rundown of that. Again,
that's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, but let's run through the battle guide real fast too, because this one's going to explain. Again, we have the quick start fights, but this is what this book is all about here. So, kind of how to set your stuff up is what the scenarios are all about. This is a quick start fight for that one. How to set up your forces as well. What happens with injuries and stuff like that, and then again, just different scenarios. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different battles, and then
the template sort of and how to get your extra ones.
If you want to play extra stuff,
and it looks like the expansions will come with more encounters.
Awesome.
That's exciting. I already have a Ronin box pulled back at the shop.
So you're ready to go, man.
Yeah.
And again, this does support one-off plays, one-off games, campaign play, and then you can even set up quests for your campaigns, which is kind of cool.
So which is like multi-game.
Yeah, win 3 battles in a row. That's your quest.
So your hero actually can level up.
Interesting.
As you gain.
Yeah.
And you accomplish these things, and if you complete a quest, the number of skill cards that your hero can have, which I imagine are just like kind of special tricks they can do that you like one-shot, like card plays during the fight.
Yeah.
They are able to have more of those. Rather than like flat stat increases, they get more tricks up their sleeves.
Nice. Which are super useful.
I like that, and not terribly unbalanced.
Right. And then just a quick painting guide too, if you want to
just nifty.
Yeah, run through that. So, that's pretty much everything in the starter box here for Test of Honor. Let's hop out for a really quick recap. Well, that was Test of Honor, the miniatures game, the starter set box from Warlord Games. I'm pretty pumped, man. It looks like a fun little game.
And this is just a starter set, so it's in the lower end of like the scale of it, but it's still
got enough
quick.
Yeah.
It's that like short-term immediate gratification.
Yes, yeah, totally.
Minis.
Well, it's and again, it's enough for 2 players to play right out of the box. You get everything you need in there: rules, templates, models. Obviously, we saw a ton of the cool stuff there. So let's crunch some numbers on this bad boy real quick. Again, I mentioned from Warlord Games. What's the price point on Test of Honor?
$49.99
Nice.
for this 2-player start.
And this is a 2-player, right? We mentioned the games take about 30 minutes to an hour. So
because of the scale, it gets over pretty quick.
Yeah, and of course, you can't actually play with more than just 2 players if you have additional starter sets.
Additional warbands, which range from 20 to 35, depending for those other warbands, which are also available.
Yeah, so go check those out. This just came out. It's in stores right now. Super pumped about this one. If you want to get your samurai fix, this is a great game to do it. I'm AdamHarry from Bella Souls.
I'm Drake with Dragons Are Comics and Fantasy.
And this has been another Tabletop Spotlight. Thanks again for watching. Tabletop Spotlight brought to you by Dragon's Lair Comics and Fantasy. Thanks for watching.